3, 2, 1, let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. In this video today, we're talking SuperStation 1, but in particular, I want to focus on one thing, the 64GB micro SD card that comes bundled with your SuperStation 1. Now, if you take that SD card out and you put it in your PC, you will see that only 10% or less is actually being used. It means 90% of it is free and you can add more games, more systems on there, whatever you like. So in this video, we're going to see kind of like what we can get out of there. Now this is kind of like my choice, the systems that I would play. They are definitely more arcade than console centric, but I do have some computer stuff on there. Now you can always upgrade to a larger SD card if you want lots and lots of libraries on there. What's really funny is, guys, a 64GB micro SD card on Amazon, whenever I was buying them, the last time I bought them, I bought a 2-pack and they were like £10 or £10.99. So I thought, let me have a look at the price now. But I think because of all the AI stuff that's happening, RAM prices have gone up, SSD prices have gone up, which in turn has put up the prices of mechanical hard drives, which I guess is even kind of coming across the SD cards now, because a 64GB SD card on Amazon, a branded one, was around £15. That's almost like triple the price. So you might want to use this until you get a better price and prices start normalizing on SD cards. There is a lot that you can get. Before we start having a look at all the stuff, let me just show you what I've done with the SD card that I have. So I'm using an app called MiSTer Companion, separate video on the channel about that, but you can access your MiSTer remotely and you can see exactly how much storage are being used. So out of my 64GB micro SD card, 59GB is what is available and 2.4GB is free. And the reason I've got 2.4GB free, there's a reason for that. I've left a little buffer. If I run up there at all and it fetches a few arcade games for me, then I don't want it to run out of space. It's up to you how much of a buffer you leave. Maybe leave this much, maybe leave less, maybe leave more. It's completely up to you. And when you see it start filling, then you can decide, okay, maybe I want to chop and change and get rid of some games. So first of all, I've got every single arcade game that's available for the MiSTerFPGA on here. I've even got the premium ones because I am a supporter of Hatego on Patreon, which gets me access to beta calls, but that's strictly optional, right? But every single call that's available is there. So if I just bring up the on-screen menu, so we've got R-Type Leo, by the way, fantastic game. Definitely play that out. Very, very chill, and it's a good horizontal shmup. As you can see, there's a massive list. You'll see lots of classics in there, all the 1940 games from 41 all the way up to 19XX. But yeah, there's lots of games on there. Stuff like Alien Storm, classic Sega System 18, Arkanoid, Left Right, you know, Hit the Ball, Break the Blocks, Kill the Aliens, ASO, Asteroids, Baku Animal. So that's really cool. That's on a system called the Sega STV, which is based on the Sega Saturn hardware. Instead of discs, it uses cartridges, but it's an arcade system. Very, very cool stuff here. Black Tiger, a classic early Capcom game. So lots and lots of games on there, guys. In fact, you can spend a long time scrolling. There's a heck of a lot of games. Not quite final, but Neo or MAME. There's a whole lot on there. I can tell you the entire MAME ROMs that we have in here to correspond with these arcade games are around 3GB. That's it. 3GB gets you every single arcade game that you have available on the MiSTerFPGA. Hence why I left that buffer as well. And we got ourselves Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, fantastic game on there as well. Lots and lots of games, stuff like CPS1, CPS2. Honestly, amazing systems on here. We've got lots of Taito games, amazing games on here, guys. Just so many games. Yeah, so you've still got plenty of space to get new arcade games when they are made available via up there. So look at that, all the Street Fighter games. And not even that, guys, we've got all the arcade offsets on here. So something to understand about the MiSTerFPGA, right? So if we've got, for example, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, right? We only need one ROM for that. So if we've got the Champion Edition, we've got the USA version, the Asian version, the American version, the European version, all the different versions work off the same ROM. You don't need lots of ROMs, so you don't need lots and lots of storage for that. It has these things called MRA files that download automatically. So as well as that, if we've got ROM hacks or like stuff like Rainbow Edition and alternatives, they all work with one ROM. So essentially, sometimes you can have one ROM and you can have like 20 or 30 games that correspond with it when you have all the hacks. So there you go, guys. That's all the arcade ones. Let's have a look at some of the other systems that are available. I did say earlier that My setup for this micro SD card is very console and arcade centric, but I do love myself some Amiga, and what makes me love Amiga even more is the guys at Amiga Vision. They've just done a fantastic job putting this Amiga Vision package together. It makes Amiga easy. You can look at Hall of Fame, for example. Let's say there was a pinball game that you liked. There you go, all the pinball games there. Pinball Fantasy is a great game. You can go down here. Oh, you know what? I remember a shoot 'em up on the Amiga. Is it in the Hall of Fame? Let's go and check it out. And you can see lots and lots there. The pictures come up, they load up very, very quickly. This is a must. I think this is the only computer one that I've put on here, and this is definitely my favorite way of playing any computer on the MiSTerFPGA. Then you've got charts. You've got charts from different magazines. Amiga Power, you want to look at the top 100 from 1991, you have got it, right? Swiv, whatever the heck you want to check out. This is just so freaking amazing, absolutely amazing. Curated content, you've got different stuff in here, and everything is matching with a screenshot. If you just want to look at a game by a title, then you know what, all good. Let's go. Let's oh yeah, I want to play Rainbow Islands. Let's just go down here. The R-Type games are good, very, very good as well. There you go. I'll go into Rainbow Islands and I just press a button and I am in the game. Everything is very nicely configured, so you don't have to move up like in the Amiga days to press up to jump. The other button is configured, so you're playing it like a true platformer. It's very, very good. It's very, very amazing. Then you've got games by year. So, you know, let's say, oh, you've even got like newer games here. If we go right down to the bottom, 2025, Burger Time, Puyan, some aftermarket games or some kind of fan releases that come out. Rick Dangerous Enhanced came out. So there's a whole lot of stuff to check out on the Amiga. Then demo scene. This is massive. There's lots and lots of demos to check out. Amiga had a massive demo scene. Let's just run a random one up here. And everything just freaking works, guys. So Amiga is definitely a system you want to get on there. This whole thing comes in at around 8.5, definitely under 9 gig, but it was worth it because it's such a nice package on here. It's a great way to re-experience the Amiga or experience the Amiga for the first time. And on this 64 gig micro SD card, this for me is an essential, right? I have to have it on there. So when it comes to like different systems now, some of the smaller systems, I just added the whole ROM set on there because we're talking megabytes. And a system that I really liked was the Atari Lynx. So I've put that on there, and there's different games that you can kind of load up. So here we go, Atari Lynx, and yeah, you know what I'm going to load up? Yeah, this is like one of the best games on there, California Games. Let's load it, let's get in there, and let's play ourselves some Atari Lynx. I really used to like surfing on there, and Atari Lynx is a great system. And the whole ROM, to be honest, the ROM set is so tiny, I honestly can't even remember how big it is. It's a no-brainer. This is just a system to get on there. And if you haven't tried surfing on there, play surfing on there. It is fantastic, guys. Really, really darn good. Anyway, let's move over to another system. Or actually, before we do, let's just go over and just look at all the games that are there. Look, that's the entirety of the Atari Lynx set available now on your SuperStation 1. Not the system with the most amount of games. That's really cool as well. A game called Zybots. That was actually a game that was available in the arcade, and the Lynx version was very, very good. There's really, really good games on the Lynx. Try it out. Like, there's a whole heap of good games on there, and the MiSTer core is fantastic. Here's an interesting chord. This isn't a system I had growing up, and it's not a system that I like very much. This is the Philips CDI. Now, the normal version of the core, I think there's one available via Update Tool, but I've grabbed the latest unstable version, and for good reason, because if you've got your SuperStation 1 connected to a CRT, you're going to profit even more. If we go and look at the games in here, we've got Dragon's Lair. I'm not going to run that in this video, but there's some VCDs. You can run VCDs on this core, and guys, who doesn't like RoboCop the movie? One of the best movies of all time. So we can run this. It looks absolutely amazing. If you've got your SuperStation 1 connected to a CRT, you can watch RoboCop like you are back in the 80s. Absolutely amazing. Now, you can't run any VCD on this. You have to run a particular one or a particular set that were made for the Philips CDI. Those ones work. If you try and run a different one, they're not going to work, and I think there's too many variables involved for them to actually work on the Philips CDI. But guys, you can watch RoboCop on your SuperStation 1. Looks amazing on a CRT. I've watched it on my PVM. It is just like going back in the day, just absolutely superb. And if you haven't seen RoboCop, watch RoboCop, man. It's darn good. Okay, so after I ended that one, I was like, no, we kind of had a look at RoboCop, but we didn't have a look at RoboCop. So let's just go in and skip ahead to a little bit of a scene inside the movie. Don't know why I've got that flickering down there. I never really noticed that before, but there you go. Nothing kind of major here, but you can bring stuff up here, so you can run it, you can make it go a little bit faster, because hey, we want to see a little bit of Ed 209. So absolutely superb, guys. I watched RoboCop again recently. What a darn movie, man. An amazing movie. And yeah, you can watch this on your SuperStation 1. Oh, how do I, here we go. Can I stop? I want to stop. What's the buttons? Okay, yeah, okay, here we go. We're playing it now. So there you go, guys. RoboCop on your SuperStation 1, man. Amazing times we live in. One of the best systems of all time is the Game Boy DMG, and without a doubt you can have the entire set on there. It is just megabytes. But if you're seeing this, you're probably thinking, hey, something is up. I don't remember the Game Boy looking like this if you owned a Game Boy DMG like I did. So what you want to do, guys, is go into the OSD, then go over to audio and video, and when you go to audio and video, go to custom palette and just put that on auto. Now as soon as you do that, you can see you've got that lovely beautiful green or yellow screen, whatever it is. There you go. That is it with it off, and that's not the way I remember Game Boy. That's not the way that I get nostalgia. This is the way that I get nostalgia. Absolutely amazing. And guys, the MiSTer FPGA Game Boy core is fantastic. Really needs to be played. Now let's have a look at some of the games now. So all the games that we've got, there's a whole heap of games that we've got on here. So if we go here, so I have got the USA set. There's quite a lot of games in there. There you go. I'm flicking through them really fast. And then I have got the Japanese set, some really good Japanese games on here, stuff like Parodius. Then we've got Ninja Spirit, really good Game Boy DMG version. There's lots and lots on there, and again, they take up a mere megabytes. You can get the whole set on there. And then we've got exclusives, well, not exclusives, sorry, we've got some European ones on there. Now I try and go with a one game one ROM kind of thing, so I haven't got the ROMs repeating, but it's up to you how you go. But with the Game Boy, the ROMs are so tiny, you can pretty much go and get any ROM. You can get all the ROMs that you want on here, and you absolutely love that green yellow screen. Whatever it is, reminds me, gives me that nostalgia for the Game Boy, and I think that's very important. If you don't like playing it this way, you don't have to. This is the way that I like playing Game Boy on the MiSTerFPGA. The next system I wanted to have a look at was the Game Boy Advance. Now the Game Boy Advance, the games, if you want to get the whole ROM set on there, it is quite big. So I was kind of selective. I chose a few games that I would like to play, and let's run some of them. And I'll show you the games list that I've got. I haven't got a massive amount. I can always chop and change. I can use the MiSTer Companion just to quickly put a game on there if I so want to play. Now you do have visual filters for everything. I suggest going through there and having a look at them the way we did for the Game Boy DMG. You can get like an LCD one for this, but here you go. I've got a few games on here, not a massive amount, but ones that I like the Castlevania games, Golden Sun, like stuff like Gradius Galaxies, Konami Crazy Racers. That's one of the first games I got when I got my Game Boy Advance. Then all the kind of Mario games in there, Mario Tennis, Mario Luigi, the two Metroid games that I really like on there, Zero Mission and Fusion, Pokey and Rocky. I can't remember that. I need to try that. I haven't played that for a while. Then we've got the Pokemon games. So it's up to you what games you get on there, but as you can see, I've probably got like 25-30 games on there that I kind of wanted to run through, and this core runs really well. The visual filters are fantastic. There's like some LCD ones on there that make it look like the original Game Boy Advance screen. Cannot recommend that enough. If you haven't played the Castlevania games on there, I like all three. This is the best one, Aria of Sorrow, but if you're Circle of the Moon is fantastic as well. I know Harmony of Dissonance, people don't like it a lot, but I really enjoyed it. I completed it back in the day, and I played it again like a couple of years back, and I still enjoyed playing it. So yeah, Game Boy Advance, fantastic system, but I wouldn't recommend putting the whole set on there. It does take up quite a bit of space. I'd say pick and choose your games. Of course, if you want the whole set, it's completely up to you, but this is definitely one where I would recommend being a little selective with the games. Next up, let's look at the Game Boy Color. Now again, with this, I can put the entire library on there. It's not that big, the games aren't that big, and it was just, easy just to kind of select them and put them on there. Now again, with everything here, you've got different visual options. You can have like a grid LCD on there, you can have different variations on there. Go with what you like. I'm not going to run through all of those in there, it's not really a tutorial on that, but hey, Game Boy Color, fantastic system. Yes, you can get the entire library on there on the 64 gig card. It's not very big. So one thing I want to show you over here as well is you need to put the games separately. So if there's any games that you enjoyed playing on a link cable, you can actually run two versions of the core, two variants of the core simultaneously with link cable support. So if you look at the cores, you have got a Game Boy 2-player core. And if we run that, I think this is the one you can swap between Game Boy DMG and Game Boy Color. I haven't got any ROMs placed in the folder here, but I could. If I did put some 2-player ROMs in the 2-player folder, those would load up and we'd be able to play 2-player games simultaneously. That's something well worth checking out, especially if you had a Game Boy, you played some 2-player games, get your buddy around. You don't need to link up Game Boys now. You can play on the MiSTer with a controller reach. The only downside potentially is you can see each other's screen, right? Unless you want to get a bit of cardboard and slap it in the middle of the screen. Trust me, I've seen people do that with GoldenEye. So now when it comes to the Sega Mega Drive, we have an excellent cycle accurate core based on decomps of chips. Absolutely fantastic. It replaces the core we once had, the Genesis core, which was based off a software emulator. Really good core. Cannot compliment this enough. Now when it comes to the Mega Drive, again, the ROMs aren't massive, so you can get the whole set on there, and that's exactly what I've done. I've put like the no intro ROM set on there, so I've got the US, Europe, Japanese, and here I've put Hervieux on there as well. You can, if you've bought the Steam ROM, then you can extract and decrypt the encrypted ROM and get that running on there. So there's lots of stuff to enjoy on the MiSTerFPGA. The Mega Drive core is excellent, and you can get the whole ROM set on there. On my main MiSTer, I've got like lots of Streets of Rage hacks. I've got a whole heap of stuff. So really good stuff. Excellent Mega Drive core, and the 64 gig can get the entire set on there along with everything else you're seeing in this video. The Nintendo 64 is a system where the games aren't massive, not like PlayStation games or Sega Saturn games, but they are big enough to take up a lot of space on your micro SD card. So I've been selective with the games that I want on there. And guys, this is amazing. You're thinking you know this game? Think again. Do you really know it? Okay, so this is GoldenEye, but it is GoldenEye with Mario Brothers characters in there. There's a ROM hack out for GoldenEye that replaces every single character in the game with characters out of the Mario universe. It's great. I've got a video on the channel having a look at that. Absolutely love this. One of my favorites ROM hacks of all time. It is absolutely amazing. But just to have a look at the selection of games I have chosen on here. So here you go. I've just added a few on there. Some of my favorites on there. So Beetle Adventure Racing, the cruising games, again, really good. Densha the Go-Go, not really my favorite game, sorry, Densha the Go. That's a train sim. Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64, F-Zero X is fantastic. Normal GoldenEye, the GoldenEye that you're seeing here. The Zelda games, Mario Golf, Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart 64 amped up, which is fantastic. Mario Tennis, very good game. So I've put a little variety on there. Just a few hand selected games that I would like to see. Sin and Punishment, guys, play this. The translation for this, fantastic. You don't really need it, but it is nice seeing it. What a game. Made by Treasure. It feels like an arcade game on the Nintendo 64. So I've been selective with the games that I want, but I can still get like a good, whatever it is, 25 or 30 games on here. Also Rogue Squadron, one of the best games ever. The only Star Wars game for me, at least that's better than that, is the one on the GameCube. But yeah, good times with that. You can pick quite a lot of stuff on there, have that on there. I wouldn't recommend putting the whole set on there unless you're like crazy about Nintendo 64 and you do want every game out there. And definitely check out this ROM hack with Super Mario characters in GoldenEye. The Neo Geo, what an epic system, man. I mean, this was a system that was around the time of the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo, and you didn't have diet versions of the game. You had the full arcade experience at home. Guys, the Neo Geo core for the MiSTer it's worth getting a MiSTer or SuperStation one alone just for this core. It is fantastic. Put a Neo Geo side by side with this and honestly you really won't be able to tell the difference. So with this I wanted the whole set on there. I can't remember how much it is, like maybe it's around 8 gig or something. Now I didn't put the variations and dupes on there, I just ran the vanilla set, maybe some unofficial games as well, but I really do like the Neo Geo. And if we go in and we look at it over here, we've got a number of games on here. So there you go, I've got the full set here. I think that's the World. So I've got World A to Z, then I've got a few homebrew games on there which are really cool. As well as that, what have I got on here? My hacks, and there you go, that's that's a Super Mario Brothers, or New Super Mario Brothers. Instead it's called Neo Super Mario Brothers. It's not that good, it's just I don't even know why I put it on there. Actually, it must have been by accident. But yeah, I've got the World A to Z on here. I've got the vast majority of games and I can just chop and change them. But the Neo Geo is excellent. Honestly, I cannot recommend this system enough. Such a great system, aged so well, graphics are beautiful, the sound on it is amazing, and the SuperStation 1 alone, or the SuperStation 1 is worth getting for this system alone. And the Neo Geo core also runs games from the Neo Geo CD. Now there's a few games on there, so I didn't add too many on there, but there is a version of Shinobi on there ported over from the Sega System 16 over to the Neo Geo, and the Neo Geo CD version has an alternative soundtrack that I so love. Now you can speed up the loading times to up to 4x, but it's a brilliant system. It's really cool, and there's some decent games on there. There's not too many exclusives, there's variations of the game with different soundtracks, but some of the kind of homebrew, some of the ports that have been brought over to the Neo Geo CD, this one's been ported over by Hoffman. Relic done an amazing soundtrack for this. In fact, I might use that soundtrack as a part of this because I'm recording this without any sound at the moment, and it is just absolutely amazing. You'll want to play the Neo Geo CD version of Shinobi with the alternative soundtrack. And the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now when it comes to this system, it's a classic system. I don't play it that much, but once in a while I do like to check a game on there because I did play quite a lot of the Nintendo when I was a kid. Now you can put the whole set on there. I've got the whole set on there. I've got a whole bunch of ROM hacks on there because honestly the games really aren't that big. So if I go here, there you go, I've got Billy Time Games, great person that does amazing ROM hacks. Castlevania bootlegs on there. I've got lots and lots of those on there, as you can see, flicking through those very quickly. Then what else have we got? Sorry, let me get out of that menu again. So right, okay, we've got homebrew games, different things on there, games that Kando 1-2 has been involved in. So some really good stuff. They don't take up a lot of space. You can get every single thing on there. And this one here is Accuracy Coin, where you can run these tests to see how accurate the core is. Now hopefully it should get a maximum score because I think the updatable version does get that score, but if not, the unstable versions of the core that are out score maximum mark on the Accuracy Coin benchmarking tool that's available for the NES. You can use this on original hardware where it tests all the components, but on the MiSTer it goes through all of that. I can't remember what the max score is, whether it's 128, 129. They keep improving, they keep adding more stuff to it, but from what I recall, hopefully it will finish very soon, and it should be finishing, should be coming to an end. Trying to keep you guys entertained here while it does end, but it should give us the maximum score, which means all the hardware components it's running through, the MiSTer is emulating in hardware correctly. So this is probably an older version I've got on here, but 128 out of 128. I think last time I checked they took it up to 129. They added an additional test, but this goes to show you how amazing the core is on the MiSTerFPGA on your SuperStation 1. The NES is fantastic, and yes, you can have every single game ever made on there on your 64 gig SD card, along with everything else that you're seeing here. So now we are talking PlayStation, the PlayStation core, because the SuperStation 1 looks like a PlayStation. Now with this you need to be selective because the 64 gigabyte SD card isn't gonna get every single PlayStation game on there, but hey, you can have your favorite 10 games on there, or you can have a number of them on there that you are going to play. So over here we've got Tekken 3, but let's have a look at the rest of the games that I've got on here, and I've added a handful on here. So Bloody Roar 2, you can see I like fighting games, of Castlevania, they're on there. just a few favorites. I don't know, maybe around 15-20 games on here that I want to check out, so you can be selective with them. Again guys, you've always got the option of upgrading your SD card, running games off a NAS, running games off a hard drive. There are plenty of options there, but again, this is just maximizing the included SD card to see what you can get. Now you can actually make it where it doesn't pause when you bring up the OSD, but I think by default it does pause it. So Tekken 3, really good game. I feel like this has aged really well as well. But yeah, I'm definitely being selective with what I'm having for the PlayStation on here, and I can have an ample amount of games that I really do enjoy, Tekken 3 being one of those. Here is a system I don't think I ever played until I got a MiSTerFPGA. Honestly, I can't remember playing a Sega 32X back in the day. It's not a great system, but there are a handful of decent games on there. But if you do want to experience it, you can get the entire set on the 64GB SD card without any hassle whatsoever. If we have a look in here, there really isn't that many games for it. What's the original? Okay, here we go. So we've got a few games here. Wow, okay, I've probably got dupes on here. Here you go. That's all the American games. Right, okay, going through there. Again, really not a lot, and they don't take up a lot of space. The European games, sorry, if you move it left and right, you scroll down a page. That's like just a page and a bit, and a few Japanese games on here. Right, okay, let's have a look. Okay, so yeah, I can probably delete some of these games. I've probably got some duplicates, but you can have all of them on there, like no issues whatsoever. ROM hacks, there you go. We've got a Doom 32X ROM hack on there as well. So I'd recommend testing this system out. That's one thing that I really enjoy about the MiSTer, and I think some of you guys will as well with your SuperStation 1, is just experiencing systems that you missed first time around. Either you weren't interested in those, you lacked the finances for them, and a lot of us did not have the finances to enjoy every single system out there. But yeah, the MiSTerFPGA will get you closer to the systems. You can experience them and enjoy them. Definitely check out the 32X. It's worth it. There's a few good games on there. The Sega Saturn core for the MiSTerFPGA. This is one of the best cores. It might even be my favorite console core on this system. Absolutely amazing. Now, the Sega Saturn is not something that I was familiar with growing up. In London, at least, it wasn't very popular, and it wasn't the biggest, I wouldn't say a commercial failure, maybe it was, but it wasn't the most successful thing for Sega, and maybe it's something that led to Sega's decline, after which the Dreamcast came. But it's an amazing system. If you like arcade games, there are so many games taken straight from the arcade, and very much so arcade style games. Now on the MiSTerFPGA, this core is amazing. It's one that I recommend, but we can't get the entire set on there, so you can be selective with your games. Definitely play Cotton 2. It is just superb. Such a great soundtrack, such a great game. Don't let the cuteness follow you. This game is pretty tough. But if we have a look at the games that we've got, now I've added a selection on there. That one there is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It is the English translation. Stuff like Astal's really good. Batsugun, absolutely smashing. Bubble Symphony, horrible soundtrack, brilliant game. Bulk Slash, like a cutting edge game for the Sega Saturn. But yeah, we've got a few games on there. If you like Street Fighter and you like Golden Axe, you might want to try Golden Axe the Duel. It's like Street Fighter Golden Axe. It's a lot of fun to check out. Unfortunately, it's not the greatest of game. So I've added some of the games I like. You can see a lot of them are very arcade styly. One of the Sega Ages has, is it I think Taito, did I put that on there? No, I didn't. Okay, Time Bokan series is fantastic. So this is a great system with lots and lots of good games on there. Definitely check this out. But yeah, you're gonna have to be selective with the games that you want. I think on my other SD card, I've got like maybe 300 gig of just Saturn games alone. I really do like the system. So yeah, definitely check out the Saturn. Have a look at some of the best games on there. Look at the games that might interest you and play them. Definitely try out Cotton 2, Daytona. There's a game called Guardian Force, which is fantastic as well. There's lots and lots of games. Just play it. Amazing system. And where we've got the NES on here, well, we have now got Sega's 8-bit console. Yes, the Sega Master System, an absolute brilliant system with lots and lots of games, and just like the other 8-bit systems, you can have the entire set on there, absolutely no issues. And this is a favorite game of mine, Alex Kidd in Miracle World. It was built into the Master System that I had. Really good. Remember rock, paper, scissors, stones? Yes, it's in this. But yeah, the entire library is in here, whatever you want. Okay, Sega Master System, SG-1000. But yeah, we can just browse through, look at the games, absolutely fantastic. And this is a good system. Sega Master System had a lot of good games on there, and it's well worth revisiting. One of my favorite consoles. I really enjoyed this console. I remember having this and waking up early in the morning to play Super Mario World before I went to school, and as soon as I got back, the first thing I wanted to do was play my Super Nintendo, and this game here, absolutely epic. The MiSTerFPGA core that you're going to be enjoying on your SuperStation 1 is fantastic, and you can get the entire ROM set on the 64GB SD card. I know I've said that a lot, but hey, that's what we're talking about in this. You can get that on here with, well, you can put ROM hacks on there as well, but you can definitely get the vanilla ROM set in there. Absolutely amazing. What you can't get on here is the MSU1 sound stuff, because those are really big. But if you do get a bigger method of storage later, definitely check out the MSU1 stuff. So you've got the Super Nintendo games, but with different CD quality soundtrack, which just makes it sound amazing. So having a look here, guys, we've got all the ROMs on here, every single set, because the SNES is an important system to me, and yes, I do like having all the ROM sets here with me. So yeah, I've just slapped an entire, I think this is a no intro set I've got on here. They seem to be quite good, quite handy, and yeah, every single game's just there that we can play. And you can always add more, right? If there's a ROM hack you want, an aftermarket game you want on here or something, you can always add that manually yourself. But yeah, SNES, we're rocking, we're rolling, we have everything on there, and what a system. So in the manner that we have the Neo Geo core, which runs Neo Geo games as well as Neo Geo CD games, we've got the TurboGrafx 16 core, and it's under T, under TurboGrafx, but honestly, I like calling this the PC Engine because I had a PC Engine. I knew it as the PC Engine, and yes, the TurboGrafx 16 was a USA thing, but Gunhead, fantastic shmup, one of the best shmups you will ever play in your entire life. But what's cool about this, if we go to select a game, so we can either pick a PC Engine game, we can go and pick a SuperGrafx game, but as well as that, we can pick a PC Engine CD game. So when it comes to the PC Engine normal games, the TurboGrafx 16 games, we've got the entire set on there, as well as the SuperGrafx, which I think there was only like a couple of games out for that system. But when it comes to the TurboGrafx CD games, guys, we can't have everything on there. I had to be selective. So I've got Rondo of Blood there, Bonk 3, Chicky Boys, Fighting Streets, and just a handful of games that I wanted on there. Now guys, these bigger games on there, it's up to you how you chop and change them. Manage your storage in the way that you like. If you hate Amiga, don't put like the 9 or 8.5 gig Amiga Vision on there. If you're not into PC Engine CD, don't put that on there. Add additional PlayStation games if that's what you like. Add additional whatever games you like, Nintendo 64, put the whole ROM set on there. Put the entire ROM set for the Game Boy Advance. This is just to give you an idea that with 64 gig, you can actually get quite a lot on there, right? Because you're not going to play millions of games at once. It is nice to have full ROM sets on there, but some of like the CD based games, you can have less on there. Just go with the games that you want. So hopefully that's given you an idea. So now we're going into PC Engine CD, and I want to kind of end the video here. That's all the systems that I have put on there. That's still quite a lot of systems there, and this game is absolutely amazing. It's very difficult. If you haven't played it, I properly recommend it. It's as tough as nails, but you can do it, you can play it, and it has some of the best intros, or one of the best intros I have ever seen. So guys, your SuperStation 1 is awesome. You can get a lot out of it with everything that's included. There are tools out there to make everything easier for you, stuff like Update Tool or the MiSTer Companion app that will get Update Tool on there for you, will sort out Samba for you so you can get network access. Then you just need to put the ROMs in the corresponding folders, load them up, and everything will just work. Anyway guys, I really do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then a thumbs up, a subscription, a hype, all that good stuff really does help out. If you want to support the channel further, consider becoming a channel member or join my Patreon. Anyway guys, play more games, be awesome to one another. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.